Alright guys, what's happening? We're back, we're doing our little review. We just got done with the first test event in Lourdes for the World Mountain Bike World Series? It's hard, like, is it the World Cup still? Because it's the World Cup, but Mountain Bike World Series? I don't know. Who cares? Anyway, just got done with that in Lourdes. It was actually an epic race. It was really fun. Well, it wasn't a race. It was a race, not race. I think it should have just been a race. Like, I think you should have just got TVs there and just done it as, well, it was a race. It was I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Anyway, we went to the race, not a race. I honestly think we should do an event like this before every World Cup, just to kind of like get the media stuff we need done, get everyone kind of back together, everyone can set bikes up. It's like a bit more chilled. I really enjoyed it, to be honest. I thought it was really cool to be with all the World Cup guys on a proper track, but there was like no really spectators. There was not really like heaps of people on track looking at lines, and like it was there a little bit, but compared to a World Cup now, it's kind of next level. Like, you stop in a section and there'll be like 5 or 6 people scoping lines, there'll be all the media, everyone else is there, and you kind of get there. It's just like, you kind of taken back a little bit and just like, this is a lot. Like when I race Crankworks, it's so chilled. It's just like, you're just riding your bike and you're kind of with your mates, and that's kind of why I got into racing. So this event felt like that. It's just your mates are the best in the world. So I think that's kind of a cool, cool thing to be able to do. But I really enjoyed it. I love the track in Lourdes. I think it's one of my favorite all-time tracks when it's dry. And it was dry for the first 3 laps. The first run I actually went up for, I just did a full run straight off the bat because it was just one of those things, you just kind of get in a bit of a flow and it feels good, you're having fun, you're like, why stop? So I haven't done that at a World Cup in a while, where I've just done a full run straight off the bat, and that kind of got me in a pretty good headspace how the week was going to go. Second run, picked up some, like, you just go fast there straight away. Like, I felt comfortable straight away, I felt like I was going quick straight away, and I was really enjoying it. It was really nice to come back to a World Cup and just be riding with all your buddies and not really feel like there's much pressure, and riding good track, and it honestly lifted me up a lot. Like, the first 3 runs I did, I was like, okay, World Cup racing is fun and I'm really enjoying this. So that was sick. Unfortunately though, the weather came in, and Lourdes goes from being one of the funnest tracks in the dry to probably the slipperiest, scary track in the wet. Like, it's just sketchy everywhere. Like, it's hard pack at the top where you slide, the grass is slippery, the rocks are slippery. It's like, it's a hard thing to ride in the wet, and I wasn't even gonna ride, but Dylan, my teammate, convinced me to go up for a run, and I was like, I'll just roll down, I'll just have a fun time, I'll roll down. Anyway, ended up crashing 3 times, just rolling, like just hit dirt and just, you literally just wash the front out and you're gone. So missed the crash at the top, crashed in the middle, started laughing after the second crash. I've got a YouTube video up, so if you want to watch that day 2, you just watch me slide down the hill on my face. Anyway, then go off the track at the bottom, always take a photographer, and I just like, it just kind of, it knocks your confidence a bit when you're not even trying to ride fast and you're just doing that. But got that out of the way, went back up on race day on Sunday, and it was actually better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, and then it started to dry up quite quick with the sun coming out. So by the first semi-final run, I think you could push pretty hard, and I was on a pretty good run. I felt good, I felt solid. Just one of those things where I wasn't in my own head. I was like just riding smart and clean, and I had some good splits at the top, but unfortunately in the middle, where you kind of jump into off cam a bit, I just came in really hot and just burnt my tire and blew out all the air. As soon as I did that, I know what PSI had. It had pretty much nothing, and then as I was going down, I just kind of started to nurse it. Every time I hit a corner fast, you'd lose a little bit more air, so I didn't want to actually just blow the tire completely off the wheel, so I just kind of nursed it down to the bottom. But I saw, yeah, my top splits were good, which kind of gave me a bit of confidence, like, hey, we still got it, we can still do this. So that was nice. And then the rain started coming down. Literally, well, as I went, it was spitting, and then by the time I got to the bottom, it was raining. So then everyone after me, it just got progressively worse. So a lot of people struggled to like throw down times, and I just don't think people really wanted to risk their life in a test event. Like, there was no point, so everyone kind of just like backed it off. Jordan Williams ended up going fastest in the semi, and then after he came down, then the heavens opened up and it started pissing down rain. So I just made the decision that there's no point racing finals. Just the fact that I know how sketchy that track is in the wet, and I know about the times I crashed the day before, and I was like, I either push really hard to try and get a good result, and that's when I crash and hurt myself for no reason, or I just chill and just, there's no point. And I kind of just made that decision. I felt like I got a good confidence from the semi, so I was like, I'm just going to watch and enjoy it, and that's what I did. I just watched it, and I saw a few people did crash, a few other people did pull out, so it was like one of those things. It's just like, why risk it for this? The only thing I saw is like, obviously if it happened at a World Cup, you're going to go do it, but there's a lot more on the line than just, you might stand on a podium that doesn't really mean anything. So I made a decision to not race, which was kind of weird. It's the first time I've ever done that healthy, so that was a bit of an odd one, but I think it was the right decision. and I kind of feel fine from doing that. To go off the podium was Laurie Greenland was in 5th, Anne-Marie Pirion got 4th, Loic Bruni in 3rd, Jackson Goldstone, first elite race at, oh, I don't know, this is what I mean, it's not a World Cup. Anyway, first time racing all the big dogs, and he got 2nd, and then Thibaut de Prella, he ended up taking the win by like 1.7 seconds or something, so he put a pretty big gap. Jordan Williams was actually fastest until I think the 3rd split, and he was like 1.3 or 4 up, and then he crashed on a big G out in the road, which was just fucking sketchy all weekend. You'd have so much speed and you hit a road with like just mud everywhere, and you just like front wheel would always kick out. And he came in super hot, like he jumped in the section before and then jumped onto the road, which was, yeah, it wasn't something I wanted to do in the wet. So he did that, and he ended up losing the front and then washing out and crashing. So it would have been interesting to see what he would have thrown down if he could keep it upright. But definitely interesting to see all the young guys like doing well. Like obviously De Prella, Goldstone and Williams are all like young up and coming guys, and they're just going to be throwing everything at it. But it's one of those things that's just like, once they find like that thing where they can hold it together and be consistent, I think like they're already going to be threats at the moment, but once they figure out that like cannonball mixed with precision, I think they're going to be like easily the top guys consistently. Like Jackson's already kind of showing that he can be that, so they're definitely to watch, like ones to watch out for this year. On a side note, like just with the new ESO and stuff running the event, I think it was really good. Like getting feedback from all the riders, everyone seemed pumped on it, everyone seemed like it's going in the right direction. Like they've got these 2 big screens at the finish line that have people like riders show who they are, no helmet, can see them, has the timing system that's way bigger than it used to be. Looks, honestly in my opinion, more professional, easy to read, easy to follow, just more professional looking really. There was no TV here, they were just doing all the timing and whatnot, but that was obviously something that's going to be a big part, how they run cameras and how many and whatnot. But just from the timing aspect, it looked really well done. And then also they've taken out the bunting, which when I first heard that they didn't want to run bunting, people don't like change, especially mountain bikers. They hate it. So when you say stuff like that, it kind of freaks them out. They go like, what do you mean? But honestly, after seeing how they did it with the poles and how they spaced them apart, they still had bunting for the B zone, and they had this different bunting at the top trialing out with holes through it, so it didn't get really wavy. Like obviously it's quite windy at the top of mountains, so if you have bunting that's blowing everywhere, it can be quite distracting, and then it can come onto the track and obviously get in your bike, your drivetrain, and kind of fuck everything up. So it was good to see that different was working. And there was a photo we got shown from Lourdes last year in this middle section, and there's just bunting everywhere, and now there's like nothing. So it makes a way clearer shot for TV. It's a better thing for viewers. It's a better thing just for an all-around package to sell online. So I think it's going to be way better moving forward with that. And also, thank you for not having poles that take your knuckles out. I have got sore fingers from racing World Cups when you just smack into poles. So the poles are about that high now. So they're just on the ground, and they're very flexy. So if you clip a pedal or something, they just move and flick back. Where before they would be knuckle height or higher than your actual knuckle, about head height, and you'd come through and smack your fingers, and it would actually like kind of move you and throw your bars. Like there was a perfect example down the bottom. There was where Jordan actually crashed on a G out. You'd go off a rock, and last year you G out and there was a pole that wasn't leant over enough, so you just take it out with your finger, and it was right as you went off the rock, and it would kind of kick you and put you off. Now this year there was one there in the exact same spot, but it was at your pedal and it was angled, and you didn't even think about it. So I think that from a safety aspect is way better. So that was something that I was really happy to see, and I think it's something that was like, might have not seemed to look that good before the race, but then when they've actually done it, it does look good. But it's funny, yeah, mountain bikers are very judgmental people. We're not judgmental, but we're just like, we get carried away. Another thing with the 2 runs, obviously I didn't do the second run, but the timing between runs, it was quite quick, and it was quicker than what they'd actually run at the races. Even that, it wasn't that bad, to be honest. Like if you had a bike failure or something like that, mechanical, it might be tricky, but even with that, you've got time. Like you've got plenty of time to change wheels, change tires, you want to put mud tires on, do stuff to your bike. But I think it's kind of good as well to kind of just get it done, like get it going. I think the longer you wait around, almost the worse it is. So it's almost like you want to get your first run in, you want to throw down a good time, and then you kind of want to just like, all right, go get some food, chill out for a little bit, and then go straight back and get the second one done. So I think the timing between runs was good, and obviously once they put TV and have more people there, it's going to be a bit different and you'll get a bit more time. But all in all, I think it was just like really well run so far, and everyone seemed pretty happy. Like to be honest, like I think it was funny, all this like blowback when they were taking over, that it was going to be poorly run or this and that, but like going to this event, like just all these like small little subtle changes, I think have actually benefited massively already. And it just seems like these guys are excited to change for the better and move forward and just do better for us and everyone else. So yeah, as from my perspective, what I saw, I think it was quite good, and everyone seems like they just want to change and get after it and make it the best it can be. So yeah, here for it. So let me know what you guys, well, you guys didn't really see anything, so it's hard for you guys to really touch on it because there wasn't really any media there, but let me know what you think about like how you see this going and what you want to see out of the organizers, or what you want them to change, or something you think they could improve on. Because I love seeing comments, because I've got like, obviously I can go talk to the guys and be like, hey, this is what the people want to see. I can hopefully be a voice for like, for all of you to be like, hey, this is what everyone's saying. They're the customer, they're the people paying for it, they're the people that want it. Let's change this. Because I feel like I can be quite opinionated sometimes and get myself in trouble, but I feel like it comes from a good place, and it's to try and like make the sport better for not only us but everyone involved in it. So I think it's a cool thing. But thank you guys, I'll see you soon. Peace.